best case, worst case player comparisons for Keshad Johnson of Arizona. Previously was at San Diego State, was a big part of those teams. We're going to give best case and worst case comparisons for him. These are not what we think is necessarily likely, but simply if he reaches his potential, best case scenario. If he completely flames out, this is worst case potential. We have each picked one. We don't know each other's answers. We're going to come to a consensus at the end of this. So, Riley, I want to hear your best case comp for Keshad Johnson.
Yeah, for Keshad, I said Bobby Portis, and I see them again. If Keshad hits his peak, similar role, we're really good as the roll man and pick and roll. Enough touch. Like I think that's an underrated part of Keshad Johnson. Pretty good feel for the game, decent passer, enough of it to make reads off of the short roll, and then just play really good team defense, make plays off ball, use his length to be bothersome. I will say Bobby, I think, is listed at 6'10, so he does have the height advantage, but I think Keshad's a little more explosive, and probably gonna be more muscular at his peak. So
I went with Dorian Finney-Smith. I think Bobby Portis is a little bit more of a true big. Keshad Johnson is. Dorian Finney-Smith is the similar 6'7", got enough strength to him, is long, can play small 4 or 3 depending on the lineup. Became more of a 3-point shooter in the NBA than he was in college, but made his mark and was kind of similar position as Keshad, where it was like, I don't know if he's going to stick in the league. Found a spot with Dallas originally with his defense and shooting and his athleticism. I think Keshad, that's his ticket, and it's worked out for Finney-Smith. He's carved out a very long NBA career. I think that's the path for Keshad. That's the blueprint is Dorian Finney-Smith.
I like DFS. Definitely more size in positional comparison for sure.
Yeah. You're saying I win that one?
I'm not ready to concede just yet, but I like it.
Okay, well,
I give you your respect.
Let's get to your worst case. Let's get to your worst case.
So my worst case, another Arizona forward. I said Stanley Johnson. Obviously Stanley Johnson was a top 8 pick, so there's not going to be that pressure on Keshad to live up to those expectations. But Stanley, he was supposed to be. Oh, it's funny, another Johnson as well, another Arizona forward with the last name Johnson. But Stanley was supposed to be this lockdown defender and sort of, bounce around on a couple different teams, spent a lot of time in the G League, had that moment, I think it was 2 years ago with the Lakers, where it was like, oh, are they unlocking something here with a 3-and-D guy? And it's like, no, I'm pretty sure he's back in the G League. So
Yeah.
definitely a realistic possibility for Keshad that it just might not ever work out. But yeah.
But with another lottery pick as well, another top 10 pick as well. This is my go-to for any wing who gets drafted who can't shoot. It's Michael Kidd-Gilchrist. Now,
I actually kind of like that.
Kidd-Gilchrist stuck around the league for about a decade. I do not think he would have if he got drafted by a team that was not the Bobcats and was not drafted number 2 overall. Like, I think Charlotte invested too much in him because they feel like they had to. And once he was off of Charlotte, he was out of the league in like a year. I think that's telling. But he's somebody who came in, reputation as an elite defender, a good athlete, worry about the shot later, and the shot was just terrible. I think that's your fear with Keshad is that we saw immense improvements this season, right? But is that sustainable? Is that who he is now, or is that a benefit of playing in Tommy Lloyd's offense around a lot of other good players? Right. I think it's legit, given the improvement we saw at San Diego State from him as well. But if we're again looking at worst case scenario, there is a scenario we look back and we're like, yeah, Tommy Lloyd's offense did a lot for him in that regard.
I actually really like the worst case MKG. Especially just because, I mean, their builds are pretty similar. They move kind of similarly on defense. MKG, though, to me was still a little bit more of like, I want to drive from the perimeter at least some. I don't know.
He was, and like looking
Stanley
at
Johnson
worst
was
case,
too. I could be
Stanley Johnson was
here.
like, I mean, Stanley Johnson was projected to be like an all-star. Like he was somebody who people were like, he'd be the best two-way guy in the league. And maybe the best two-way contract guy in the league instead of two-way on the court. So we'll go MKG for worst.
Yeah, we can go MKG.
And then
I'll give you DFS too. Let's go both hyphenated.
We're doing great here. Love it. All right.
Kidd-Gilchrist looks so tough on a jersey though. I love a hyphenated last name on a jersey. It's a shame that he was so just
Well, it was also on
so much.
those just horrific dark blue,
Yeah.
light blue, orange Bobcat jerseys.
Yeah.
I look at ranting at the end of this, Keyshot, I apologize. Um, the like middle Bobcat era where they were still the teal and orange and had like the double pinstripes going down are still some of the toughest jerseys in NBA history, I think. And then go from those to like dark blue, light blue, orange, and just giant cats on the front. Horrific decision. Horrific
I,
decision.
I did not expect to get some Bobcats pinstripe jersey standing in this video, but I'm glad we did.
Keshad Johnson, very good player. Bobcats jerseys, we're not.
The NBA draft is coming up, and I've got something awesome for you. We are partnering with the people at NBA 2K Lab. NBA 2K is the best video game on earth. The people at 2K Lab are making some awesome stuff to make that game even more fun, and they just launched their 2024 NBA Draft Simulator, where you can find the official Sleepers Media big board. We ranked our top 75 players in this draft class. Me, Carter, Brian Ralph, Riley Davis. We did it together, and it is featured on the 2K Lab NBA Draft Simulator. You can take control of any team in the draft, play GM with just one click, and see our entire rankings before these videos even come out. Check out the link in the description of this video to try out the draft sim for yourself, and you can find more mini games at nba2klab.com/NBA-mini-games.